Okay, so this is going to be a video to showcase our new AI-powered lead capture chatbots. These are perfect for small businesses that don't have the spare staff or manpower to man a live chat. What I'm referring to are these that you usually see on the bottom right-hand side of websites. So when a user comes to your website and they've got questions about your products or your services, if someone isn't there live on the other side of this to answer the question, that can be a prospective customer that's lost due to not having their questions answered right away. There are older styles of chatbots. The user can ask certain questions and it'll provide a rigid set of answers based on what's been pre-programmed, and they may have a rigid set of qualifying questions as well. But with the new AI-powered chatbots, they can be trained on your website's data and they can be trained to answer questions in a way that you choose, but still quite dynamic and human-like. So if the user asks a question that falls outside of what you've trained the chatbot to say, it'll default to an AI-generated natural language response, which should be able to continue the conversation on from there instead of the user getting frustrated by not getting the answer that he wants. So they should be able to answer a broader range of questions in a much more dynamic way, essentially. Okay, so this is the back end of the chatbot, and I'm just going to run through a basic conversation for demonstration purposes to show how it flows. Okay, so this is a custom and obviously pre-programmed introduction message. The user has the ability to click on any of these buttons just for ease of use, but you can also just have a dynamic normal conversation with it, which is what I'm going to do for demonstration purposes. So, what services do you offer? So remember, this is trained on our website's data. So what it should be doing now is going and collecting the information based on the question that I've asked and then formulating that into a response. Yeah. And as you can see, so I've asked what services we offer. It's taken these basically from our website, which we've trained it on, and it's provided links to each of the landing pages there as well. So if I click on any of those, it'll take us through to the respective landing page. So then I'm just going to say something like, can you tell me more about your chatbot? And again, that's going to be searching for the information and formulating it into a response. So again, this is information that's taken from our website. It's not copied and pasted directly. What it will do is read the information and formulate it into a response. So this isn't going to be exactly the same every time. It'll be slightly different each time. And then in this case, it's asking if we're interested in AI chatbots, would I like to see the brochures? So just to show you, you can just click yes on the button, or you can type in yes, but I'm just going to use the button. And then, yeah, to provide you with the right brochure, I just first need to know what country you're located in. This is a pre-programmed question. Bear in mind, these questions are specific to us because we need this information first before providing the packages. You can program in any questions that you like, qualifying questions that you need to ask in order to move the conversation on. And again, these can be dynamically generated, so they're not the same every single time. So I'm just going to say, I'm in Oz, mate, just to see if it can pick up on that. Yeah, so it's correctly recognized that what I meant is that I'm in Australia, and it's provided me with the respective brochures, a link to download them, a link to the website, contact details, etc. And then it's going to ask if I want to see more brochures, or if I want to get a quote. So I'm just going to say, can I also see your SEO packages? And there you can see again, it's recognized the service that I'm interested in, and what I want to see, which is the packages, and it's able to provide those to me again with the same thing, a download link to the website, contact information. All this stuff can be customized the way that you want it to provide the information, and it can be slightly different every time so that it's not robotic sounding. So now I'm just going to say, okay, I'll get a quote. So this is another qualifying question, just because we need to ask this before we start to collect the details, and it's also good for confirmation. So we just need to collect some details to provide you with a quote. Would that be okay? Would you be okay with that? So I'm going to say, yeah, sure. So could I have your name, please? Okay, so what I'm going to do on this step is just throw it a curveball just to show how dynamic the conversation can be. So what will you do with my data? So I'm not answering the question, I'm actually asking a completely different question, which with the older style of chatbots where it's a rigid set framework of questions, if I'd have asked this question now, the response I would have got would just be, sorry, I didn't recognize that. Can you provide me with your email address? Until such point that it fails and just restarts the conversation. So what will you do with my data? So what should happen now is it should fall back onto an AI generated response, again, based on information that we've trained it on. Yeah, so we take your privacy very seriously. So this is an AI formulated response. It'll be slightly different every time, but it gets the general point across. And then when you're ready to go back to providing your details, let me know. So I can say at this stage, I can say, okay, my email is, and I can say, and my website is. So what I'm doing in this case is giving it two pieces of information in one, which again, with an old style of chatbot would have thrown it completely off. And in our case, so it's collected both. So it's got my email, it's got the website, and then it's moved straight on to the next question, which is, can I get your number? So the question after email would have been website, but because I'd already provided it, skipped that and went straight to the number question. Now it's going to ask me, I'm in Perth. Okay, so it's collected all those details, and then it's just saying one of our team will contact you shortly, but essentially it's asking to review the details for accuracy. Are these details correct? So what I can do now is, if they're not correct, or just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to say, no, my email is actually admin@hjd.com. So I'm telling it that the email address is incorrect. And it's recognized that and put the correct email address in there. And you can do the same with all these details. So the user can check all their details first. And if they need to change anything, they can do it just using natural language. So are these details correct? I'm just going to use the buttons for this one, but if I click on yes. Now what's going to happen is at this stage, the details have been emailed to me, and they would have also been put into our CRM as a lead. So somebody will be notified and the database will be updated. And essentially we can continue the conversation, or it can just be ended there. But if I just want to say something like, can I get pricing on your Google AdWords packages? Yeah, to give you accurate pricing, we may need to provide you with a custom quote based on your individual needs. However, our brochures do contain some baseline pricing. So Again, this is what we've asked to the chatbot to respond with. If the user asks for pricing, this can be customized to you and how you want to respond. At this stage, this would be a good example for if you wanted to provide quotes directly through the chatbot and there was a calculation to do those quotes. When somebody asks for pricing, you can send them through to the quoting conversation. We can start quoting. One last thing that I want to demonstrate is just the memory ability and the ability to jump between different conversations with a memory of the last conversation. So I'm just going to run another test to show what I'm talking about. Need a quote for some SEO. So I'm just going to go through this process as quickly as possible because this isn't really what I wanted to show. Name, please. So let's say I'm giving it my name. My email address. And what I'm going to do in the next step is I'm going to try and just change the conversation completely. So actually, can I just see your packages? So whereas previously this would have thrown an older style of chatbot completely off, because what we've done is asked a completely different question in the middle of asking these pre-programmed questions. So again, what that's able to do, as you can see there, is pull away from this conversation and then go straight into the section that's going to start asking us then about the packages that we want to see. So I'll just say Australia. So then it's going to provide me with the brochures that I asked for. It's remembered the service that I was interested in from what I was discussing earlier, because I said I wanted a quote for SEO. So it's remembered that SEO is what I was interested in. So now I'm just going to say, okay, I will go back to getting a quote. So I'm breaking away from this again and going back to the previous conversation. Just recognize that it's specifying that it needs to continue taking details. So it's remembered that it started previously. And are we okay to proceed? Yeah. And because I've already answered the name and the email question, it should go straight to website, which it has. So yeah, that's fine. So that's just a demonstration of how dynamic the conversation can be. You can break away from one section of the conversation and it should still have a memory of the key details from previous. Something just to reiterate, just to note, is that this that you're seeing here is the back end of the chatbot. So this is where the configuration takes place. This will all actually be handled between the chatbot and the user on your website. So the usual place to put them is in the bottom right hand side, so that when a user has a question, they can just send whatever their questions are and your chatbot should be able to respond. Additionally, we can also upgrade the functionality. So, for example, if you're a service business and you need to quote clients, if you have a set formula for how you quote clients, let's say, for example, you're a carpet cleaner and you quote per number of rooms and the size of the room, you can have the chatbot ask those qualifying questions, carry out the calculation, and then send a quote directly to the client or to the prospective client. And then you can also have that information feed straight into a CRM or email to you directly. So if you made it to this stage in the video, thank you, and I appreciate you sticking through it. If you're interested in getting a chatbot for your business, you can visit our website, highjumpdigital.com/AI chatbots, or you can just go to highjumpdigital.com, and then in the services menu we've got AI chatbots. You can inquire with us through here, or if you're an existing client, you can speak to your account manager. Thanks for watching.